And we are live. Welcome back to Takes by Fans. We got a great show for you today. As always, we are live every single day at noon Eastern. If you want to watch live, head over to twitch.tv/takesbyfans. If you want to watch but not live, head over to our YouTube channel, Takes by Fans. We post all of our shows and clips of the show there on a daily basis. And if you just want to listen, we are on podcasting apps, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio. So, however you want to watch or listen, we've got you covered multiple ways. Alrighty, today's a big old Tuesday, folks, and finally the day has come. Yes, folks, finally we can all be done with the Nets officially swept 4-0 against the Celtics. Us versus y'all officially wrapped up last night with us coming out on top, which shouldn't surprise anybody, really, folks. Once again, this was the big narrative of the season. There's always one big narrative of the season that we always get right and y'all get wrong. It's just how it is, folks. It's been 2 seasons we've been here in the NBA, and it's happened every single time. The data is there. The evidence is there. I don't know what y'all want from me. Last year was Chris Middleton was Batman. Yeah, we knew that was ridiculous, and unfortunately, we had to listen to that the entire playoff series because the Bucks won the chip. So, it wasn't like, we could stop talking. Y'all could stop talking. Y'all could stop talking. Why does that not sound right? Y'all could have stopped talking about it because it kept going on. Where the Nets, it's done after round 1. Done with this Nets narrative. So last year, Chris Middleton was the Batman. Yeah. Look at what they're doing this season without Chris Middleton, so stop that. Giannis is the Batman, Chris Middleton's the Robin. We knew that, folks. That was last year's narrative. This year's narrative, Nets are so scary. Nets are going to the finals. Nets will win the finals. Look how that one turned out. Swept in the first round. Even the Bulls, folks. And I will never let y'all live that down. I will never let the Nets live this down. The Bulls won a game. The Bulls aren't getting swept by the Bucks. And we were saying the Bulls should have smacked. It should have been wrapped up in 3 games. We were saying the Bulls were going to call up Adam Silver to be like, hey, do we even need to play a 4th game? Can we just call it here? 3-0 sweep. We're done. We don't really want to go out there and lose again by 50 again. A 4th straight game of losing by 50 again. That's how we thought the Bulls series would go. But what did the Bulls do? They dug in for 1 game. Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving, they could never get it on the same page in this series. Yeah, Kevin Durant had a good game 4. Kyrie had a good game 1, 2. Still lost. All 4 of them, 4 straight. So today's like really the last day that we'll talk about the Nets because we still have to break down the game last night. Kyrie Irving is the most delusional human being on planet Earth, maybe, so we'll talk about that as well. But really, after today, we're not talking about the Nets for maybe forever. It may be forever, folks. We may officially ban Nets talk on the show because it's just so absurd, and y'all can't handle yourselves, okay? We've seen that this season. Y'all go out of control. Y'all go hog wild. Y'all started with the Nets are good, and then it just spun out of control from there. I tried reeling it in all the last 2.5 months, but y'all just kept taking the line out further and further and further into the ocean, and y'all got lost out there. Y'all got lost in the sauce out there saying, hey, they're winning the rig. We don't care that they don't have Ben Simmons. We don't care that Steve Nash is the worst head coach in the league. They're winning it all. Y'all took it and ran with it, folks. So y'all can't really be trusted. Y'all get out of control a little bit. So we may have to put the ban on Nets talk on the show because y'all cannot be trusted. We are still deciding with the producers on that and all that, but we will let you know. But how we will phrase it, this is how we're going to be phrasing it for today, because I really don't want to talk about the Nets, but once again, we have to break down the game. But we're going to be phrasing everything about the Celtics. We're really giving we're not going to be knocking the Nets. We're going to be giving praise to the Celtics when we reach that game. We're not going to be trashing and talking about, because everybody's still talking about the Nets. Nobody is still talking about the Celtics and how absolutely fantastic they are. are, folks. It's so crazy how great, extraordinarily fantastic, great, amazing, oh my goodness, fantastic, folks. That's the Celtics, and everybody is still harping on how bad the Nets are. Yes, the Nets are bad. We've known this. We've been trying to tell y'all, but let's move on and start celebrating and start talking about how great this Celtics team is, because y'all are still being a little disrespectful to the Celtics by just saying, oh, the Nets were so bad. Oh, the Nets were so bad. No, the Celtics played out of their mind and rose to the occasion and took blow after blow after blow and still got it done. There were some runs in last night's game by the Nets. There's been some runs by the Nets all series long, but the Celtics always overcome every single run that the Nets had this entire playoff series. So start respecting the Celtics a lot bit more, but I'll settle for a little bit more. So all of that being said, today on the show, we're breaking down the games from last night, obviously, betting on the games tonight. This may be the final 3 NBA playoff game night. we're gonna look ahead in the schedule to see if that's the case. But once again, a series wrapped up yesterday, so that's one less series to be played every single day, every other day. So once again, the golden era of the NBA playoffs is coming to a close. It's truly unfortunate, so truly take it all in every single day, all the games, get the most out of it, folks, because it's coming to a close, unfortunately. So, breaking down the games from last night, betting on the games, and talking about the games on tonight. There's some great stories, and we have a strong take on one quarterback in this league. We don't think he's going to be good, but somebody's coming to his defense with some big-time words. So, we got to hear this man out. You have to kind of weigh what he's saying pretty heavily because, this is a man that we all kind of respect a lot. So, this could be a turning point of us getting on track, getting on board on this quarterback. You're going to have to sell us, but hey, we're open to be sold. So absolutely. So some nice stories to talk about here in the NFL. And then as always, if we get to Kenny Pickett, we will get to him. But we got 3 days today. Tomorrow, Thursday's the draft, folks. So once again, we're probably going to be doing a lot of learning during our live draft show. That should still be good to go. Probably starting around, I don't even know when the draft kicks off, maybe 7-ish. So keep to the show. Keep to our Twitter account at Takes by Fans for all that. We should be doing a live draft show if everything goes according to plan. So we will let you know on that. So let's start the show here, folks. We're going to start in the NBA and then transition to the NFL afterwards. So let's start breaking down the games from last night. And thank goodness this is the first one up so we can get this one out of the way. Us versus y'all. Game 4. Celtics on the road for a second straight game in this series to clinch it, to sweep it, to bring out the brooms and sweep the Nets out of the league, out of the playoffs, out of the conversation. Hopefully that part not just quite yet, and I get it. We have to talk about the game, so I'll give everybody one more day of talking about the Nets, but after today, stop it with the Nets and start praising the Celtics. Yes, we all have to make that jump, make that change. Well, y'all do. We've been making that change, so nothing's changing on our end, but on y'all's end, stop it with the Nets. Come tomorrow. This is where we're truly putting our foot down. I know we've been telling you to stop it with the Nets the last 2.5 months, but now that they're officially out of the league, truly let's stop talking about the Nets after today. Final day. Get it all out there. It's fun. I get it. Get it all out because we're done with the Nets until next playoffs when they're the 8th seed again and we go through this entire thing again. But Celtics at the Nets, game 4, and the Celtics get it done here. Celtics win 116-112. They cover the real spread, Celtics +1, which is still the dumbest thing ever. But once again, Vegas went down with that Nets ship. Y'all went down with that Nets ship. All right, at least y'all held your ground. I guess I give y'all some credit in that regard. So go ahead and take that. But yeah, Celtics +1, easy peasy. We had the Celtics -6. They only win by 4. They were winning by 6, with 15 seconds left, and then Kevin Durant hit a one-legged three-point jumper that was just absolutely bizarre. That brought it right back down to a 3-point game. Then they played the foul game, and then they hit one up to 4. Game over at that point. So We didn't hit the Celtics -6, the most that we could bet it up to. Unfortunate, but they still take care of business, and that's what we know the Celtics team can do. So Celtics get the win 116-112, and man, oh man, everybody on the Celtics team, folks, I just gush. I just straight up gush every time I watch this team play. I gushed 4 games in a row, folks. I'm not going to run from that fact. I'm not going to hide from that fact that I've been actively gushing while watching this Celtics team for 4 straight games here, and this will continue in the playoffs. Next time they play, I will gush. No question, no debate. Gushing will incur. So, Celtics get it done. Marcus Smart, 20 points, 11 assists, 3 of 7 from the 3. Once again, Marcus Smart, that aggressive score. And Marcus Smart has just gotten better every single year, folks. The Celtics have been trying point guards out. Kemba Walker, Kyrie Irving, never getting it done. Marcus Smart working his way. The answer to their point guard problems was always in-house. And the fact that Marcus Smart has grown every single year, because we were not the biggest fans of Marcus Smart, last year, 2 years ago, but this season, even in, kind of the early part of the season, we didn't really love him, but this man has worked his ass off and just has gotten better every single time he stepped out on the floor. So shout out big time, big, huge time to Marcus Smart on how incredibly magnificent this man has played this series. So stop clowning Kyrie. I know it's fun. Stop clowning Kyrie. Start respecting Marcus Smart. He's played incredible all year. Well, a little bit, really kind of, even Jason Tatum put it. He was like, ever since January, that's really when we hit our stride. So yeah, I will count it at that. Ever since January, Marcus Smart has played out of his mind, folks. 1 second. Okay. So yeah, Marcus Smart, absolutely 100% credit goes out to this man. Getting better every single game. Deserves so much more credit, respect, recognition than what he is getting in the national media, folks. So give this man more respect. Marcus Smart, he needs to be on everybody's radar, folks. Yes? So Marcus Smart got it done last night. Jaylen Brown played okay. All right. 22 points, 8 rebounds, 0 of 5 from the 3. Nothing really great by Jaylen Brown in this game. And Jason Tatum, he ended up fouling out of this game with about 3-4 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Real kind of bogus 6 foul call. You can talk about it. It's been talked about to death. It's a little bogus, some of the officiating last night. But Jaylen Brown, when Jason Tatum went out of the game, Jaylen Brown tried to step up and command the ball, and it just did not work out too well. They were still able to overcome no Jason Tatum, but if it was just Jaylen Brown out there, for this entire series or anything like that, yeah, the Celtics are not it. So Jaylen Brown's a great 2 that we know, and we know he's not the greatest 1, and that brings us to Jason Tatum, who has been absolutely out of his mind. This man has been so great, getting better every single year. No national recognition. Once again, everybody's still reluctant to call this man a superstar. We do not have that issue over here. We called this man a superstar 2 years ago. So this is well overdue of him getting in the spotlight and truly being hailed as a true superstar, an A1 tier 1 player in this league. Respect and shout out to Jason Tatum, folks. I'm telling y'all, 29 points, led the team in scoring. He had 5 assists and 3 rebounds. 5 assists, fantastic. Second most off the team because Marcus Smart is the point guard. I mean, that's what he's going to be doing. So Jason Tatum, the second highest assist last night, and always passing up the good shot for the great shot, for the better shot. There were so many times I was like, Jason Tatum, take the 3. Why are you not taking the 3? You can hit that. Absolutely. We all believe in it. The man shot 4 of 6 from the 3 last night. Shoot the 3. I really kind of want Jason Tatum to be a little bit more of an aggressive shooter. He only took 16 shots last night. Jaylen Jaylen Brown had 20 and Marcus Smart had 16. So it's not like Jason Tatum is like taking so many more shots than everybody else on the team, even though he is the number one option and has the green light to do so. He doesn't, because he's also a leader. This man's not just going to jack up shots. He's always going to look for the best shot, and if the best shot's him, he'll take it. But if the best shot's not him, he has no problem delegating that shot to another player like a Marcus Smart or like a Grant Williams, who I think all of his assists came from last night. Grant Williams, 14 points off the bench, 4 of 6 from the 3, and Jason Tatum had like 5 assists. So 4 threes, 5 assists. All of his great assists went to Grant Williams, passing up a good shot to a magnificent wide open Grant Williams from 3. Jason Tatum is doing it all here, folks, locking up Kevin Durant defensively, never took a game off offensively, folks. If this man, let me bring up this man, is this man shooting like above 50% every single game this series? Because this man needs some more recognition. Once again, stop it with the Nets talk. Everyone's just talking about the Nets because they got swept, and it's so funny, and we get it. But once again, let's still give credit to the Celtics. They went out there and swept the Nets. Even the Bucks couldn't even sweep the Bulls with Giannis and Chris Middleton. This team needs more respect, folks, and I am begging y'all to give it to them. So here we go. Jason Tatum, 4 straight games in this playoff series. What do we got? Here we go. 31 points game 1 on 50% shooting. He went 19 points, 10 assists in game number 2, but only on 40% shooting. Or that's 3-point shooting. What am I talking about? Let me go to actual field goal percentage. Here we go. He still didn't shoot well game 2. 31%. All right. Game 3, 39 points on 44%, rounded up to 45. And then last night, 29 points on 56% shooting. Easily the most consistent superstar in this series, yes, because Kevin Durant finally had a good game last night, but it still didn't move the needle. It was still not enough to win a game in this series. Kyrie Irving's played pretty solidly this entire series, not the best last night, but once again, still not enough to overcome it. Jason Tatum being this aggressive scorer, being the great lockdown defender he was, folks, give him the credit. Yes, we can knock Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving, but with the knocks come the credit. Give credit to the Celtics. This is the next step here, folks. Y'all just want to keep hounding on the Nets, which is fine. I've got no problem with that. But let's also give respect to the Celtics. Everybody on the Celtics, and even Ime Udoka. And I think the NBA owes him an apology for not making him a Coach of the Year finalist. There's no reason why he shouldn't have been top 3, folks. We see what the Suns are doing with no Devin Booker, floundering big time. No Robert Williams, won the first 2 games. Robert Williams back, all right, still winning like nothing even happened. Still coming off the bench like nothing even happened. Played less minutes than he did in game 2. I thought he was going to have a bigger role, a bigger production role, but that was not the case, and they still got it done. Smart coaching, great leadership. You see it all over the floor. Do you know how hard it is to play defense in the NBA, folks? For 82 straight games, play defense just for more than one consecutive series in a basketball game? That's why everybody kind of flocks to kind of two-way players, because they're not a dime a dozen here in the NBA. If you find a two-way player like a Kawhi, like a Jason Tatum, you've got a great player on your team because they play defense. Players don't like playing defense. And did you watch any of the games this series? The way the Celtics team was playing defensively for 4 full quarters over 4 straight games. It was so inspiring, folks. It was fantastic. I'm telling y'all, folks, how could you not watch this Celtics team over the last 4 games and not just gush from quarter 1, from tip-off to ending buzzer, gushing the entire way, folks? This team, folks, I'm telling y'all, and am I ready to say this? We hinted at it yesterday on the show. Are we now ready to say it? It's going to be interesting, but it's all going to come down to this next series, because the Bucks coming out of Bucks are going to win the series. They're up 3-1. They'll probably close out tonight. But Bucks Celtics, next round of the playoffs, winner of that series wins the finals. No debate on that. Absolutely no debate on that. It's just, can we call the Celtics to win that series? I'm going to need a little bit more time on that one. And it's truly, like, the only thing that's holding me back from truly crowning the Celtics as this year's NBA champions are the big. I mean, it's just, this is a bigs world. We know this. This is a bigs league. And unfortunately for the Celtics, they don't have, like, a dominating big like a Giannis. Now, I do believe Ime Udoka can come up with a great game plan to try to defensively stop Giannis and make him make more difficult shots and put the pressure on him, because they put the pressure on Kevin Durant. I mean, that's tough to do. Not a lot of teams or even players can lock up that man. So the fact that the Celtics were able to do that, mostly Jason Tatum, shout out to that man. Actually, let me go to this. This may be it. Let me see this, folks. Let's go up to the Celtics regular season schedule this season, right? And if they have beaten the Bucks more times than the Bucks have beaten them, we will call it right now. We will change our official prediction. Our official prediction heading into the playoffs was Bucks winning against the Suns. But if the Celtics have more wins over the Bucks in the regular season, I will change it right now. Have the Celtics been good enough to beat the Bucks in the regular season? Let's quickly take a look. Here we go. How many times they face and when did they face? Here we go. Against the Bucks, the first time they win in overtime, 122-113. Celtics get the win. Celtics up 1-0 on the Bucks, and that was on the road going into overtime. Wow, big time great. And that was in the beginning part of the season when they weren't at their best. Oh boy, I think we're changing it, folks. Here we go. Game number 2 against the Bucks. A win, 117-103 in Milwaukee again. Celtics up 2-0 on the Bucks. Game number 3. Or they were at home for those first 2 Bucks games. I read it wrong. I apologize. So getting it done at home in Boston. Now on the road. Third game against the Bucks. They lose 117-113. All right. So far, home court advantage wins. Game 4 against the Bucks. They should have 4 games played. We got a 4th game here against the Bucks. Here it is against the Bucks. In the Bucks again, they lose 127-121, so only home court. But who has home court in this series, folks? Who has home court? Because the Bucks chickened out a little bit. Remember, the Bucks were at the 2 seed. The final game of the season. The Celtics had to win, the Bucks had to lose, and that's what happened. The Celtics get the 2 seed, the Bucks get the 3 seed. But if the Bucks won that final game of the year, the Bucks would have been the 2 seed. Look at this Bucks team run from the Nets and choose the Bulls for the first round of the playoffs. Maybe not the smartest thing to do. I mean, that was a winnable game, folks. They were facing the Cavs, and they sat everybody. They should have and could have won that final game to keep the 2 seed, so they would have home court advantage in the second round against the Celtics. But they were not thinking long term. They were thinking short term. The Bucks fell for the brainwashing of the Nets, folks. Defending champions fell for the brainwashing. We said it yesterday, folks. It is so easy to get wrapped up in the brainwashing. That's why we don't kind of, knock y'all for falling for the brainwashing, because everybody is susceptible. The Bucks they were like, hey, we don't want to face Kevin Durant round 1. We don't really want to do that. You see, that's actually a good team. You hear what they're saying about them in the media? That's a real dangerous team. We don't want to face them. Let's go down to the 3 seed, face the Bulls round 1, and yeah, we can sweep the Bulls. And then they didn't even sweep the Bulls. So, I'm going to officially change it here right now, folks. Bucks were official scaredy cats. Ran from the Nets while the Celtics embraced it. They're going to have home court advantage, and in the regular season, the teams at home won. There's going to be 4 games in Boston and only 3 in Milwaukee, and unfortunately for the Bucks, you need 4 games to move on and win a playoff series. I'm officially changing it, folks. Here we are. Here it is. The Celtics are the new NBA champions, folks. Officially marking it. April 26th, folks. We are officially officially moving off of the Bucks and betting on the Celtics to win the NBA Finals. Loving this Celtics team. Swept the Nets. Great defense, great stardom, great coaching, and they've got that home court advantage. Celtics to win it all. The winners coming out of this series, Bucks Celtics, and I got the Celtics coming out of the series, and you know that means they win the chip, folks. Officially changing our stance. Celtics win it all, and wow, how great is that going to be to watch? Everybody have to eat that big old crow. The crow's done. The crow is being shipped out. We told y'all we slow roasted crow for y'all to eat if you were on the Nets, and that should be shipped out to y'all. Well, that was shipped out express last night, so that should be arriving any moment if you have not gotten your crow by now. So eat the crow. It's all right. Eat the crow, and let's move on, yes? So crow's being shipped out as we speak, or already should be at your house as we speak. So Celtics, they were just all fantastic last night. Jason Tatum, Al Horford still grabbing such great big rebounds. The man shot 3 of 5 from the 3, 13 points, 6 rebounds. Love Al Horford here. Daniel Tice still in the starting lineup. We don't love it. 6 points, 8 rebounds. He played okay. Off the bench, Grant Williams, Wet Manic. Derek White, 9 points, 2 assists, 6 rebounds. Pretty solid. And then Robert Williams only played 14 minutes. Peyton Pritchard only played 9 minutes. And we can still get great production out of those two players. This Celtics team, they are the new scary, terrifying team, folks. Respect it. Respect this Celtics team. They're your new NBA champions, folks. So I don't know what you want from me. Loving everything about the Celtics team, folks. So once again, give credit to Ime Udoka for coaching his ass off. And we'll touch upon him in a minute, because there's some stories to go along with this game. But let's wrap up this game by talking about what the Nets did last night. We had Kevin Durant played his best game in this series. 39 points, 9 assists, 7 rebounds. Only shot 41%, but took 31 shots. That's what we wanted by Kevin Durant. Be aggressive. We really just need that. Didn't shoot well from 3 of 11. And what came back to haunt Kevin Durant? Let me see if I can bring up this play. He was not clutch. And we've seen this all year long. We were worried. Another big reason why we were never buying into this Nets team like y'all were. Kevin Durant is not being clutch. First of all, he missed a free throw that would only put him down by 1. Kevin Durant missing a free throw. What the hell is that? That never happens. And then we get this play right here. Down 4 points. Oh, would have only been down 3 if Kevin Durant hit that free throw. But Kevin Durant having a chance to make it a 1-point game with 13 seconds left. You play the follow game, you get a chance, and maybe you tie and go into overtime. But Kevin Durant's clutch ability does not go again. Inbound pass with 13 seconds left. He's got Derek White guarding him, folks. Small ass Derek White, bench player Derek White. Closeout, he's out there in the the final second, so he's still good. We're not knocking Derek White, but this is what we're talking about. This is a mismatch, folks. This is big, tall, slim Reaper over a little old Derek White. So Kevin Durant can't even hit a 3 going to the right. That's his shot off the back rim. Doesn't go. Kevin Durant, once again, another clutch shot missed. This man has not been clutch ever since last season. Really, ever since his toe was on the line, Kevin Durant's clutch gene went out of his body. And we've seen this by superstars. Not everybody is 100% clutch. There's no way anybody could be 100% clutch. We're not holding anybody to 100% clutch status. But for Kevin Durant, LeBron James, yeah, we kind of need like 50-50. 50% clutch ability. Hey, you're not clutch this game, but the next game you're going to be clutch. I mean, that's kind of what we expect from LeBron and Kevin Durant. Maybe even a little less. Maybe only go 40%. That's the lowest I'd go, folks, but I'm kind of still claiming 50. And Kevin Durant usually does that. Usually we always get the big clutch shot by Kevin Durant, either kind of 50-50-ish, but not this year. This year, he's like 4%. I don't even know 4. He may be 0%. Has Kevin Durant hit a clutch shot at all this year? None's coming to my mind, but I can name about 5, at least 5 over the last month of the regular season where he wasn't clutch. So, Kevin Durant's clutch ability, that's going to be out for recertification next year, folks. We can all just assume Kevin Durant's going to be clutch, but not this year. Clutch gene never came out for him. So, Kevin Durant, even though he had a fantastic game, best game of the series, still not clutch. And you not being clutch loses you the game. So, who cares that you played pretty good, right? We had Kyrie Irving, 20 points, 5 assists, 5 rebounds. All right, good game. Seth Curry went manic as always, and Seth Curry, man, I feel a little bad for him. He was on the 76ers, who had title aspirations this season. Then he got traded to the Nets, who once again had title aspirations this season, and he's been so gosh dang consistent, reliant. I mean, you could make the argument that Seth Curry has been the best player on these teams. The best player on the Nets and the best player on the 76ers. Now, the only reason why I say that is if you factor in the consistency, where we haven't really gotten great consistency out of Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving this season. Kyrie Irving can't even play at home games really for the most of this season. So Seth Curry able to just kind of take on that role and never blink in the face of adversity. I mean, that's pretty gosh dang good. So I give credit to Seth Curry a ton here. Very well done. 23 points, 2 assists, 4 rebounds, shot 5 of 9 from the 3. Off the bench, Nicholas Claxton. Did y'all see this last night? Nicholas Claxton, 13 points, but look at this. 1 of 11 from the free throw line. 1 of 11. You missed 10 free throws yourself? The hell is this? And Steve Nash still kept him in the game? This is a must-win game, and your big is missing all the free throws. Kevin Durant only missed 1, and it was the clutchest one. He went 10 of 11 from the free throw line, missing the clutchest one. Once again, Kevin Durant, clutch gene, gone. Nicholas Claxton missed 10 free throws, and Steve Nash has the gall to keep that man in the game for 23 minutes? In a must-win game to extend the series. So once again, Steve Nash was just in over his head, and you guys can make the argument. You guys are going to make the argument, and, okay. We'll save that. We'll save that because Kevin Durant's going to come to his defense here. But once again, I'm going to poke holes in that defense because what are you talking about? Once again, everybody's just getting caught up in the trashness of the Nets, but can we look and focus on what this Celtics team actually did this series? It was absolutely phenomenal. Folks. So Nicholas Claxton trash off the bench, missing all those free throws. Blake Griffin played a hell of a defensive game, drawing 5 charges all over the place. It was really kind of great to watch. Blake Griffin finally having a great game. But why did it take? Was this the only game Blake Griffin played in all series long? I don't really remember Blake Griffin getting that much burn in these last couple of games here. Yeah, you got 8 minutes, game 3. Didn't play game 1 or 2. Didn't play games 1 or 2. So what are we doing? Steve Nash has no clue, absolutely no clue on what to do rotations-wise on this team. Doesn't know who's good or not. So please spare me the Steve Nash, folks. Please, truly don't do that. If you still want to bring up Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving when you talk about the Nets, that's fine. But please do not bring up Steve Nash's name. That's where I have to put my foot down a little bit. This man is so outmatched. He's not a good coach, folks. Stop it. All these players that think they can just step in a coaching role right off the rip out of their playing days. Stop it. Why are the Hawks not good now? Or why are the Blazers not good now? Because they have Chauncey Billups as a head coach. Why are the Nets struggling here these last 2 years? Because they have Steve Nash as head coach. Stop it. Yes. So, Nets floundered last night. Kyrie Irving solid, but nothing, superstar level-esque. Nothing like Kyrie Irving kind of, says about him. This is nothing like Kyrie Irving-esque. This doesn't hold up to his standard. No way. So, Kyrie Irving just meh. Patty Mills doing nothing for the squad. It's so funny. Patty Mills doing nothing for the squad. A -9 on the floor, the worst on the team. So Patty Mills still being on here is still funny. Nicholas Claxton missing 10 free throws in a 4-point loss. Truly hilarious. But shout out to Jason Tatum and company locking it up defensively. That was truly the reason why they won this series. Their defense absolutely killed it. So, Celtics get the Game 4 win, sweep the Nets, we beat y'all, us versus y'all, we know what we're talking about, stop fighting us and everything, and once again, the big narrative of the year, we were right about, y'all were not. It's unfortunate, but once again, this is why we do the show. So, shout out to the Celtics, your new NBA champions, folks. You're going to have to get used to that, folks, okay? You guys can keep talking about the Nets in the offseason. Nets this again, Nets that again. Yeah, wait till next year when Ben Simmons is going to play. Wow, that's really going to get us scared. But while y'all are doing that, we'll be gushing over our championship trophy. Yep. Your team will be good next year, okay? Our team was good this year. They were so good they actually won the chip. Oh, wow, that was pretty good, yeah? So... All right, folks, we are not the same. We are not the same, okay? So, Celtics get the win 116-112, but it does not stop there, folks. Of course, it doesn't stop there because it's Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving. Of course, it's not going to stop after getting swept. Of course, they're going to still be talking nonsense. And when I mean nonsense, folks, it's like delusional nonsense. It's crazy. But before we start knocking the Nets more, let's praise the Celtics here. And Jaylen Brown put it absolutely perfectly here. And this is why we all need to respect the Celtics even more. This is a quote by Jaylen Brown at his press conference yesterday. Quote, "Leadership is important, from coaches to players to the organization. This year has been pretty special from the top down, from the top to the bottom." And that's exactly it. What happened last season to this season? What's the dude's name? The head coach for the Celtics last year, Brad Stevens. Brad Stevens goes from the coaching floor to the front office. Hire Ime Udoka as head coach, and everything was fantastic this year. So exactly what Jaylen Brown says, leadership is important. Another reason why we can never get on that Nets train. There is no leadership on that team at all. Kyrie is not a leader. Kevin Durant's not a leader. Steve Nash is not a leader. Who are we going for as leadership? And whoever speaks out with a leadership role, do you think Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant are going to give them the time of the day? No, of course not, because that's Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving. They're not going to pass up leadership opportunities. If they're not going to do it, there's just going to be no leader. There's not going to be somebody that outleads Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving. That is never going to be the case. They will shut it down, folks. We know their personality types. We know their personality traits. They will not let a leader stand around. And once again, we're going to have a quote here by Kyrie Irving, so delusional that it proves that point. Just wait a few seconds, folks. It's coming. A lot to talk about here. A lot to talk about. So, leadership is important. Exactly. Ime, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Marcus, mother-loving Smart, Al Horford is still being a fantastic leader. You need leadership, especially in a 7-game series. Yes, in the regular season, on a given day, any given night, superstars can go off. You don't need leadership in that sense. But if you're gonna win the ring, if you're gonna go playoff series after playoff series after playoff series, battling injuries and all that. The Celtics battled an injury here. No Robert Williams, still getting the win. No problem. So it's just that, folks, leadership, buying in, and everybody does it with the Celtics, and it comes out and it screams off the screen when they play defense, folks. It's absolutely magnificent. I'm trying to tell y'all, folks. I'm just trying to tell y'all. This Celtics team, they're fantastic. They are your new champions, yes? So Jason Brown, loving the leadership. I'm loving the leadership. And then we get this. All right. And this is what we have to stop. Kyrie Irving is not getting any credit for this because everybody's been saying this. So you don't get credit for this because now you're coming to the realization after you already got swept and all that. You do not get credit for acknowledging this and saying this. So Kyrie Irving getting swept by the Nets, he says this, quote, and this is not the delusional quote, folks. It still gets worse by Kyrie Irving here. So this is just a stupid quote that maybe he was just trying to get like brownie points for, but no. You do not get credit for saying this. Kyrie Irving says, quote, "I felt like I was letting the team down where I wasn't able to play. It became a distraction at times." Exactly. Of course, we know this. You were letting your team down this entire year by not being out there available on the floor. You were letting your team down by not being that leader. You were letting your team down by not kind of just locking in and being the point guard for a season. How awful would have been if Kyrie Irving was a point guard, a true point guard? Oh my goodness. Would he even survive one year? Remember James Harden after game 1, Kyrie Irving at his press conference says, "Hey, that's why he's the point guard and I'm the shooting guard." That's why Kyrie Irving will never do what is in the best interest of the team to have success. It's all about Kyrie or nobody, and that's how they played, and we see how that resulted. 0-4 sweep. Kyrie Irving doesn't have success. The team doesn't have success. So, So Kyrie Irving kind of coming to this realization, I kind of felt like I was letting the team down a little bit, like came a little bit of a distraction at some point. No duh. You don't get credit because you said this 5 months later. late. No. You get no credit for this, Kyrie. Eat your crow and shut up. Really, that's really all you have to do is shut the heck up, honestly. It's enough talking at some point, yes? And once again, I don't care that you talk. If you keep talking, keep doubling down, that's fine. I truly do not care. But at some point, it's enough. And, this is what, why we say the things we say about Kyrie Irving. This is why we have the attitude we have about Kyrie Irving, because it's the same thing every single time. I give everybody the benefit of the doubt, folks, but when I give you the benefit of 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 the doubt, and you're still doing these things, yeah, enough is enough at some point. I'm lenient, but damn, shut the heck up, Kyrie Irving. And this is why he truly has to shut the heck up, because this man is just delusional beyond comprehension, folks. This is not even in the realm of even rational, logical thinking, folks. This is wild. This is so wild to say. I can't even, I had to do a double take yesterday, folks. I was scrolling Twitter and I saw the quote. I was like, this had to be one of those fake accounts. You see this fake account catching everybody, and it's so funny, folks. Ballsack Sports. That's the name. People are getting fooled by Ballsack Sports. Let me bring this up, because Stephen A. Smith, a little bit earlier in the season, got fooled by Ballsack Sports, and it's so funny. And this is their Twitter account, Ballsack Sports. There it is, Ballsack, all one word, sports. It's Ballsack Sports. How do you get tricked by a Twitter account called Ballsack Sports, folks? So I was thinking that quote had to be from Ballsack Sports. There's no way this quote is real. There is no way what this Kyrie Irving, the quote we're about to read, there's no way this quote can be real. This had to come from Ballsack Sports. Here it is. This is a Ballsack Sports quote to try to fake everybody out. And once again, Stephen A. Smith got fooled by Ballsack Sports earlier this season. I don't think he's admitted it, but Ballsack Sports, whenever Stephen A. Smith references it, they go out on Twitter and clip it and be like, hey, ha ha ha, so funny, which is funny. But here it is. This would be like a Ballsack Sports quote or a fake story. So Ballsack Sports tweets this out after Game 5. Says James Harden expressing his frustration after Game 5 with the quote of James Harden saying, quote, "For one time in my career, I just want my team to step up in the playoffs. I've carried the burden my entire career. It's the same old story, and I want to be somewhere I fit in." So, of course, James Harden would never say that, of course. But this is a Ballsack level of delusion right here. Here it is. Hang on, this isn't it. Hang on. Let me get it. Here it is. Hang on. Let me bring it up. Why don't I have it? Where the heck did it go? I've got it, folks. Hang on. Give me a second. I thought I had it up. I apologize. I can bring it up quick. I'm not tripping. I know where to find it. Here we go. I'm getting it, folks. Relax. I know. I built it up good, and I let y'all down. I get it. Here we go. This is what Kyrie Irving said, folks. Are y'all ready for the delusion? Here it is. This is not Ballsack Sports. Here it is. Kyrie Irving, after he just got swept 4-0, after he didn't play the majority of the season, after not being able to play home games for really the entire year, this is what the man had the balls to say, no pun intended. Kyrie says he plans to re-sign with the Nets, says, quote, he says this, quote, are y'all ready? Y'all not ready. He says, quote, "When I say I'm here with Kev, I think that really entails us managing the franchise together alongside Joe and Sean." So when I say I'm here with Kevin Durant, it's me and Kevin Durant. They've all said, hey, we're not leaving. We're both returning this year. Absolutely, we're here. We're back. It's me and Kevin. So when Kyrie Irving says I'm here with me and Kevin, it really entails us managing the franchise with Joe and Sean, and Joe and Sean are kind of the owner and like president, executive, manager of the Nets. So Kyrie Irving is so delusional that he's like, yeah, I think that me and Kevin Durant just need to kind of run the team. Yeah, that's what really going to kind of bring us over the hump, running the team. Yeah, we're going to leave the team of the Nets in the hands of Kyrie Irving. Okay, yeah, that's exactly what we're going to do. Exactly what we're going to do. The one person in the NBA that cannot be trusted. Cannot be trusted. Can't trust this man with the contract, big contract. Stephen A. Smith put it pretty perfectly. He was like, I would not sign this man to another long-term deal. 1 year at a time. You get 1 year at a time because you're not reliable and you pull these moves everywhere you go. With the Celtics, it was like 1 year. Oh, I can't be here anymore. With the Nets, it was like, oh, I'm not getting the COVID shot and all this. I'm not playing at home games. I'm not playing. So, yeah, that's who the Nets are going to be listening and trusting the entire franchise, the entire organization in the hands of Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant. Are you crazy? I would not even trust Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant to babysit my child, like my 18-year-old kid. I'd be like, I don't want you hanging out with them. That's going to be a bad influence on you. I don't really want you hanging out with them. I wouldn't trust them to babysit an 18-year-old man. I'm not going to trust y'all to run a franchise, to manage a franchise. Are you out of your gourd, Kyrie Irving? So delusional, I could not even believe he said it, folks. Oh my God, this is the kind this goes on in his brain, folks. This was his first thought after getting swept. He went to the podium and said, yeah, I just need a little bit more control of the team. If I have a little bit more control of the team, yeah, we'll get it done. And you know why? For all this, you take every single reason that you can think of why you would never trust Kyrie Irving to run a franchise, but this is really the only point. We can focus on everything else, absolutely, but the one point, if Kyrie Irving had a rebuttal for everything we brought up, every single thing we brought up, I would ask him this one question, or just kind of this one. I would challenge him with this one thing. If you're gonna run our franchise, if you're gonna have like total control over our personnel, who are you bringing in? Who do you want to work with? Because you didn't want to work with LeBron James because he took the spotlight away from you. I don't understand why you're working with Kevin Durant because he's still taking the spotlight away from you. So what players are you going to get? If Kyrie Irving had the keys to this franchise of signing whatever player he wants, he's not going to sign the good ones. He's not going to sign like kind of the superstar players because Kyrie Irving would not get the credit. He would not get the credit at the end of the year because that's why Kyrie Irving had to leave LeBron James. Kyrie Irving was still getting no credit for that ring, even though he hit the shot over Steph Curry. I give credit to Kyrie Irving, but not a lot of people. Oh, LeBron came back, 1-3 down against the Warriors. Wow, how great was that? That's LeBron's accolade. That's LeBron's accolade, yeah. Kyrie Irving doesn't get a lot of accolade credit for the win, for his championship win. So Kyrie Irving wouldn't even bring in superstars to this team. He wants credit. At some point, I think he would let Kevin Durant go. If Kyrie Irving had full control of this team, at some point he'd be like, yeah, Kevin Durant, I still need all the credit here. They win a ring. Kevin Durant gets all the credit. Kyrie's like, yeah, you got to go. You can't be here no more. You got to go. I got to get all this credit. So, take everything. Take it all away. That one sole reason would be the one I rest my case on. Kyrie, what are you going to do here? You're going to sign all these lackluster pieces that you think you can coach up, that you think you can facilitate the floor with, and then when they're missing shots, what is your attitude going to be like? Where's your leadership mentality? Because I can guarantee you if all these role players Kyrie Irving signed aren't getting it done, do you think Kyrie Irving is going to try to lead them? Try to, work with them to get better? No, he'd probably cut them and then sign other role players that once again will not work out because go back to what Jaylen Brown says, hey, you need leadership important. Even Kyrie Irving said, hey, they gelled together. So Kyrie Irving, folks, the most delusional, nonsensical, illogical player in the NBA. You can definitely make the argument for that case. So this is what we're talking with, folks. This is what we're talking about. This is why, we use a little bit more charged language with Kyrie Irving. This is why we're a little bit more aggressive on our takes with Kyrie Irving because it's all just nonsense at the end of the day. Yes, his basketball talents are holy moly, wow, blockbuster, must-see television, must-watch sports. Absolutely. Live, on television, whatever you do, you got to watch Kyrie Irving. Absolutely. But sports are deeper than just your ability, folks, especially like team sports, which is a team sport. You want to be a tennis player? Okay, I don't give a damn. Be self-righteous. Talk your shit. Okay. But at the end of the day, this is a team sport. Football, basketball. Leadership plays a huge role. It's not just what you can do good. If it's, the best player wins the ring every single year, then LeBron would have 20 rings. Wouldn't even be a debate between who's better, LeBron or Jordan. It'd be like, well, LeBron, because he's got 20 rings. He won the ring every single year. He's the best player. Doesn't work like that, folks. We saw it. LeBron thought he built the all-star team with the Lakers. You lose Anthony Davis. You lose your star. Can't get the role players to play good. Don't make the playoffs. We need more than just great basketball ability, folks. Need more than that. And Kyrie Irving only has that. He only has basketball ability. Every other thing that you need in team sports, Kyrie Irving has zero of. Absolutely zero of. So Kyrie Irving being absolutely delusional, folks. It's wild. Then we get this. Let's shift gears to Steve Nash now, yes? Kevin Durant on if Nash is still the right man to coach the Nets. And this is where, once again, what are you saying? Because we have the perfect example that really kind of mutes everything you say. So we have Kyrie Irving being delusional and Kevin Durant just kind of being favoritist. Hey, I play for the Nets, so I'm just going to gush about the Nets, which I guess you have to do. So I guess we can't knock Kevin Durant that much, but still, geez. Here, this is what Kevin Durant says. He says, come on, man. Yeah, Steve has been dealt a crazy hand the last 2 years. He's been having to deal with so much stuff as a head coach for the first time. COVID, trades. I'm proud of his passion for us. Steve Nash only has great passion. Once again, passion, it can take you places. Absolutely. Dan Campbell, passionate head coach. Now we have to see the wins this season. He had a good year one with the passion. I think I got hired. The opportunity I have arising that we will probably talk about a little bit here on the show. They were like, hey, we like your passion. Passion gets you so good. You still have to deliver. But yeah, passion is good. Passion's good. You have to have a little bit of passion. But at one point, at what point do we have to say, hey, we need to start to see the wins? I say year 2. You get swept year 2. Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving still can't, make it for you. You still need more than that. The passion with the 2 great superstars, you still need more than that, Steve Nash. So I'm not buying Steve Nash as a head coach. And then what he says right here. Steve has been dealt a crazy hand the last 2 years. He's been having to deal with so much stuff as a head coach for the first time. COVID and trades. Who's actually a first-time head coach? Because this is Steve Nash's second year. Who's actually a first-time head coach this year that's getting it done? Oh, yeah, the team that just swept your ass, Ime Udoka. He's actually a first-time head coach here, and he's getting it done. And he had to overcome every single obstacle that Steve Nash had to overcome while not having kind of the best roster, the highly regarded superstars on the team. Yeah, Ime Udoka did all this year 1. Didn't need the second year. Didn't need a year 2. Didn't need to get a year under his feet to be good. Year 1, good to go, right out of the gate. Number 2 seed in the Eastern Conference, swept your ass. Swept Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving's ass, no problems. No Robert Williams, had to overcoach that, overcome that. Had to grovel back to Daniel Tice this season. Did it? Excelled at it, swept your ass. So what are we talking about here? Stop it with Steve Nash. Stop it with Kyrie Irving. Just stop it with the Nets in general. The last day. This is the last day we're giving y'all on the Nets. Done. Stop it. Respect the Celtics. If you're going to talk anything, if you're going to talk any basketball, make sure you're talking about the Celtics. Stop wasting our time with the garbage Nets on who we all thought they were. They are who we thought they were. Exactly that. The Nets are exactly who we thought they were. Kyrie Irving's not a leader. Kevin Durant's not clutch. Steve Nash is a garbage head coach. This team is who we thought they were. Who's the one bright spot here? Seth Curry. They are who we thought they were. We know Andre Drummond and Seth Curry turns this team around. We are who we think they are, who I think they are. 1 second. Look at this. Fake baloney call. Messing me up. But yes, the Nets are exactly who we thought they were. Stop it with them. Stop it with them. The Celtics surprise us. Even though that we know who the Celtics are, they surprise us. They keep continuing to surprise us. We have to be a little bit on our tippy toes on this Celtics team. A little bit. Because you never know when Peyton Pritchard's about to pop off. You never know when Derek White is going to play great defense on Kevin Durant to force up a bad three by the man. An unclutched three by the man. Greatness, always getting better. Respect the mother freaking Celtics. Yes, folks, we won't cuss today, okay? Won't do that. But Kevin Durant, stop it. Stop it with that nonsense. Then we get this, and I'm not even going to go into this. We're not even going to go into this, folks, because we're not going to spend more time on this. But a story here that Ben Simmons with his Clutch Sports representative Rich Paul, they went down and spoke with the Nets brass to kind of say, hey, you know, the mental health issues, the physical issues, we're all good next year, we're going to be good and all that. So once again, goalposts moving. Ben Simmons, I don't even want to read this article. I already know the garbage that's going to be in it, so don't even need to spend our time on it, blah, blah, blah. And then we get this final thing right here. Seems like Steve Nash isn't on the hot seat. We get to this. The only way that he would be on the hot seat, according to Mark Stein, a writer for the NBA, he says there is no evidence in circulation yet to suggest that Steve Nash is in some sort of jeopardy as long as he retains the support of Say and, more importantly, Durant. So Say is one of those, I think like the owner of the Nets, and that's who Kyrie Irving was alluding to when he was talking about, hey, I just need to get in there with them, and, we get it all figured out, like, okay. So, Steve Nash having the support of Kevin Durant, we see that, having the support of the owner, and that's enough to keep him his job. All right, well, keep being trash next year because Steve Nash is not a head coach. He's not even a leader, folks. Look at him on the sideline. The man is milk toast. The man is not getting it done out there, folks. Stop it. He was a point guard. That doesn't mean that he knows how to run a team. I mean, coaching and players, it's a totally different world. It's a totally different mindset, first of all, and it's a totally different world. Stop it. Just because you're good at one thing doesn't automatically gonna mean you're good at another thing in the same industry. It's not the case, folks. So please stop it with Steve Nash. He should be fired. Find the next Ime Udoka, folks. Please. I'm sure there's many more out there that you're not giving chances to. You want to give more chances to Doc Rivers for some reason, who's about to blow a 3-0 lead in the playoffs for the first time ever. We'll talk about that game in a minute. But, I mean, can we stop it with this? Can we find actually good coaches that have success in this league? Ime Udoka had success last year with, the Nets. He was, on the Steve Nash's coaching staff. And now Steve Nash is not good. He wasn't good year one, but now they're worse. Somehow they got worse. So find the next great coach. Do your job. Actually scout talent. Actually have interviews and hear what they're saying. I would love to hear what Steve Nash said in his interview because I can't even believe why you hired him. So I have to hear to believe why you hired this man. What was he saying in that interview that was like, wow, we have to hire this man now? Or was it just Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving saying, yeah, he's a figurehead? We already had Kyrie Irving say, yeah, we don't need a coach here after they already hired Steve Nash. I mean, we know this, folks. We know this. We can't forget about facts that were said last year, okay? We have to keep every single piece of information fresh and then constantly recall upon all that information to see, does this kind of, support the narrative? Does it go against the narrative? And then we, debate the narrative at that point. But Kyrie Irving already said we don't need a coach. They don't want a coach. That's why they want Steve Nash, because he's not a coach. He's not going to stand up and talk up to Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving. He won't do that. That is not him. He is milk toast. We see it on the sideline, folks. We see it on the sideline. Stop falling for the brainwashing. Y'all are smart. I know y'all are smart. I am giving y'all credit. Y'all are smart. Some of y'all. Most of y'all, but some of y'all are smart. And I'm talking to the some of y'all. And y'all are the some of y'all, all right? That's why you watch the show. The smart ones watch the show, okay? Believe what you see. Believe do your research, but believe in what you see. You don't need, the media telling you the Nets are good when we all know they're not. Don't let them brainwash you. You're smarter than it. I know y'all are. Do not fall for the brainwashing. Put your foot down. Have some confidence in your takes and say what you will, folks. Yes, you're smarter than that. I know y'all are. Stop it with the brainwashing. So, that is the Celtics Nets, folks. Last time, yes, I hope you like it, because what did we just spend 50 minutes on it? 50 minutes on it, done. We will not talk about the Nets for the rest, maybe for the rest of my career, folks. I'm done with the Nets, folks. I'm truly done with Kyrie. I still like Kevin Durant, but Kyrie I'm truly done with. And Kevin Durant is still a little bit on the fence, even though I do truly still like him. Kyrie Irving's done. Steve Nash is done. This Nets team is done. We're done with the Nets. We will not utter the Nets for the remainder of the season and most likely the offseason. We won't even touch upon it in the offseason, because what are we going to hear in the offseason? Ben Simmons is working out good, is having contact on his workouts now. Okay. Who cares? Because any day he could wake up with back soreness, we know now. So who cares that he had a good 4 straight months of work in the offseason? Who cares? Is he going to be available in the playoffs? Or is he, my back tweaked. Oh, Steve, you mind if I take today off? My back, stiffen up. But Ben, you just had 5 straight months of not even a problem. Yeah, but today, something about today, just So, y'all can have that. We're not doing that over here at Takes by Fans, I'll guarantee you that. So, done with the Nets. Officially, we can bury the Nets. Bury that garbage narrative. Bury that garbage take. I know y'all want to bury those garbage takes. I mean, even Chris Broussard, I think, put a bag over his head yesterday, even before Game 4 was even played. He was kind of, conceding defeat, and, I appreciate that. Woke up, before it was truly too late. If y'all were still doubling and tripling, quadrupling, sextupling, I believe, down on the Nets heading into Game 4, you may be a lost cause at this point. But Chris Broussard smartened up, wore a bag on the head before Game 4, admitted he was wrong, and we all move on. Simple. Easy. Stop it with the Nets. Final time of the year, folks. Please, for the love of everything goodness in this world. Stop it with the Nets. All right, but that was not the only game on last night, folks. We had 2 other playoff games, so here they are. First one up, Raptors at the 76ers, and now we are in big time, officially sounding the alarm. Boop, 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 boop. That's the new alarm over here at Takes Five Fans. I know y'all not loving it, but that's what we installed. I don't know what you want from me. 76ers lose, folks. Not good. Joel Embiid hobbled, and the Raptors won without Fred VanVleet. Talk about coaching. Yes, shout out to Nick Nurse again, down 3-0, win Game 4 at home. Bingo, bango, great coaching. Head into Philadelphia in a closeout situation without Fred VanVleet, your starting point guard, and still win the game. Yeah. It's mother-loving Nick Nurse. Respect. Stop it with the Steve Nash. Do y'all see why we say stop it with the Steve Nash? Ime Udoka, Nick Nurse, 2 brilliant minds in the game. Nobody wants to talk about him. Nobody wants to give him any credit. Nobody wants to put him at Coach of the Year finalist. Why? Because y'all aren't talking about them? Yeah, we know what y'all talk about. The Nets. Okay, we're done. We prove. Okay, y'all don't know what you're talking about. You're still talking about the Nets. Okay, we get it now. Okay, it all makes sense now. Okay. Here it is. Raptors absolutely dominate the 76ers, winning 103-88. And man, oh man, we swallowed 8 points last night. What the hell was I thinking? I apologize to Nick Nurse. I mean, that was maybe the most disrespectful thing we've done all year. Not take Raptors +8? Oh, man, Nick Nurse, I have to apologize. And I wish I just gave you the money instead of Vegas, giving Vegas the money for that stupid decision, illogical decision. I was kind of on my Kyrie bullshit last night. Yeah, so delusional? I'm sure you heard it, like 76 was -8. What are you, delusional? Kyrie Irving, y'all say his name all the time. Y'all got me saying his name, and now I'm acting like Kyrie Irving. I don't want to act like Kyrie Irving. I'd play basketball like him, absolutely. I'd take his athleticism power, but not up there, folks. You know what I mean? All right, but let's digress a little bit. Raptors absolutely playing magnificent, folks. Now, a couple of things to clear up here. Let's start with the starting lineup. Absolutely fantastic. They moved Scotty Barnes to the 1, and we liked what we saw from Scotty Barnes. Last game, game 4, when Fred VanVleet went out, Scotty Barnes played pretty well, and Scotty Barnes played pretty well last night. 12 points, 3 steals, 4 assists, 8 rebounds, shot 50%. We'll take it. Gary Trent Jr., 2 of 6 from the 3, 16 points, 2 steals. Kem Birch playing the 5, only for 11 minutes in the starting lineup, 7 points, 1 rebound. Siakam, 23 points, 7 assists, 10 rebounds, a plus 24 on the floor. Yes, sir, the highest by far. And then OG Anunoby, 16 points, 4 assists, and 5 rebounds. So everybody in the starting lineup, solid work. And then the bench. And once again, what's the biggest struggle of the 76ers? Their bench. And they struggled last night. Just look at this, folks. Raptors. They get Precious off the bench, 17 points, 7 rebounds. Chris Boucher, 6 points, 4 rebounds. Even Thaddeus Young, 3 points, 3 assists, 3 rebounds. Overall, great production coming off the bench. I mean, we're talking about 20-plus points with great defense and great rebounding capabilities. Then, we check the 76ers bench. Are y'all ready for this? This is their bench. Y'all ready? Matisse Thybulle, 2 points on 16% shooting. Shake Milton, no points on 1 shot. Georges Niang, 3 points on 2 shots. Paul Reed, 3 points on 4 shots. Furkan Korkmaz, 3 points on 1 shot. Do y'all now see why this 76ers bench is super concerning? I think we're about to call it, folks. Our second official recall of the NBA playoffs. Our first recall is saying the Celtics will win the champions and not the Bucks. Our second recall is Raptors win the series in 7. Raptors pull the first 3-0 reverse sweep. It's like 143-0 at this point, folks. It's crazy. We're about to have history this season. Raptors will win this series, folks. They will win this series. They're heading back to Toronto for Game 6. Joel Embiid is banged up bad. Doc Rivers cannot coach. And James Harden, he's going to have to pick up the slack. Double time, triple time, and I don't know if he's up for it. We all know James Harden in the playoffs. So everybody getting it done for the Raptors, and it's so inspiring basketball. And once again, shout out to Nick Nurse, head coach. And then for the 76ers, everything was solid. It was okay. We didn't get anything above and beyond, and the lack of depth off the bench truly doesn't help either. We had James Harden, 15 points, 7 assists, shot 36%. Tyrese Maxey, 12 points, 4 assists, light on him, shooting 35%. Joel Embiid, 20 points, 11 rebounds, light on him, shooting 46%. Tobias Harris, 16 points, 4 assists, 7 rebounds, solid, but 2 of 7 from the 3, 37% shooting. And then Danny Green, 14 points, 4 of 9 from the 3, just all right. Everything was just all right there. Nothing above and beyond. No superstar greatness. No greatest of all time performances being shown out. And this would have been the perfect time to close out the series for the 76ers to give Joel Embiid a little bit more extra rest as they await the winner of the Heat-Hawks series, which probably gets wrapped up tonight. It can get wrapped up tonight. So, 76ers going to have no extra rest. Joel Embiid going to be banged up in next series too. This is concerning. 76ers, they will easily not win the ring, but I don't think they get out of this Raptors series now, folks. I'm having the Raptors win this one in 7 instead of losing in 7. I'm switching to the Raptors to win this series, folks. Raptors get a blowout win with getting 8 points. Man, oh man, I'm kicking myself. Raptors win 103-88 over the 76ers last night. And then the last game, folks. What the hell, folks? Honestly, what the heck were y'all thinking? Did anybody bet the Jazz last night? Honestly, come forward. It's all right. You're in a safe space. Come forward if you bet the Jazz last night, folks. If you went against the family, you went against the ring. You went against the ring. You know what that means, Jimmy? We have to take you out back and make you sleep with the fishes. You know, you go against, you disrespect the family, Jimmy. You bet the Jazz. Can't do that. What did Frankie tell you? Bet all you had on the Mavericks. You bet the family's money on the Jazz because they were getting 3 points? Because Rudy Gobert hit a big shot? Because they finally won a game and didn't beef it? That's what you did, Jimmy? You went against the family, your own flesh and blood, for the Jazz? Was it worth it? That money you lost? The money you stole from the family and lost it, you gave it to Vegas. Took the family's money, Jimmy. Gave it to Vegas. After Tony and Frankie sat you down and told you, Mavericks. Jimmy, I'm sorry. We're going to have to take you outside, get some fresh air, and shoot you in the head. You're forcing our hand here, Jimmy. You go against the Don. You go against the family. You got to sleep with the fishes, Jimmy. I'm sorry. And then Jimmy gets dragged out by Frankie and Tony, and they shoot him in the back of the head, and that's the end of it. So go ahead, step forward, folks. We won't shoot you in the head. It's okay. It's a safe space. This isn't the mafia over here. Not on the outside, all right? We save that for the internal stuff. But step forward. Come on, admit it. Admit it, folks. Admit it. We all need to admit when we've done wrong, yes? Anybody bet the Jazz last night? Shame on you. Shame on you. Going against takes by fans. Going against the family. Disrespectful. Let's learn and grow from this. Yes. Because the Mavericks absolutely dominate like we all knew they would. Mavs at home. Rudy Gobert can't guard the perimeter. Like, did y'all think Rudy Gobert was able to guard the perimeter overnight? We told you that was not going to be a wave of the wand fix. We know this. This is the same thing 5 years in a row. Stop it. So, Mavericks absolutely destroy, folks, and we only had to swallow a measly little 3 last night. So, Mavericks get the win 102-77. The Jazz put up 77 points in a tie series? This is the best they could put out? Once again, you blow up the team. Quinn Snyder should never have a coaching job again in this league of how many times this man has underperformed. Rudy Gobert and Donovan Mitchell do not work well together. Quinn Snyder has not changed up this lineup at all. I don't understand. Like, at some point, I take Mike Conley out of the starting lineup and I put Jordan Clarkson. I move Donovan Mitchell to the 1, Jordan Clarkson at the 2. I don't care if it doesn't work. This doesn't work. So, no, I stopped this. I nipped this in the bud. This never works. Stop it with the Mike Conley. Have that man come off the bench. But, of course, nobody ever experiments in the NBA with their lineups. Not even in the beginning of the season when it really quite doesn't matter. So, okay, Quinn Snyder, you got to go. You're not a good head coach anymore. Maybe you were never a good head coach. Always floundering, always underperforming with the Jazz. It's ridiculous. It's a little ridiculous now. It's been ridiculous, but it's absolutely ridiculous now. It's absurd now. It's been ridiculous. But here we go. The Dallas Mavericks, folks, absolutely get everybody getting it done. Luka Doncic. 33 points, 5 assists, 13 rebounds, classic Luka. Jalen Brunson still able to get it done with Luka Doncic going manic. 24 points, 4 assists, 5 rebounds. Dorian Finney-Smith, 13 points, 5 boards. Reggie Bullock, 9 points. Dwight Powell, 8 points. Off the bench, nothing great. Spencer Dinwiddie, 9 points, and that was really it. But it's just Luka Doncic and Jalen Brunson. And who did we tell you yesterday was going to get it done? Luka Doncic and Jalen Brunson. And look how many threes they hit. They hit 12 of 43, a little bit light on what they usually do. Only shot 27%. But the Jazz are so bad, folks. They shot 10%. They shot 10%. Even with the Mavericks give you an opportunity to win the game, they only put up 102 points. That's light on them. They only made 27% from the 3. That's light on them. The Jazz still underperform. Having all that momentum. Big time Rudy Gobert kind of game-winning shot in home, in front of your home fans, getting all jazzed up, no pun intended, and then you come out and shit the bed in a must-win game scenario. It's enough. It's enough. It's starting to get to that absurd point like the Nets. It's enough. Now, I don't think anybody's buying into the Jazz, so I give y'all credit. There's no brainwashing to be had on the Jazz. Like nobody is going to bat for the Jazz, folks. Everybody was still going to bat for the Nets, but nobody's going to bat for the Jazz, folks. So I guess I can give y'all some respect on that front. Jeez. But Donovan Mitchell, 9 points, 0 of 7 from the 3. The man shot 26% in 15 shots in a must-win game. It's absurd, folks. Rudy Gobert, and he did get injured, but he still played 31 minutes, so please spare me that. Well, you got injured. I don't want to hear it. You put up 77 points. Stop it. Mike Conley, 4 points on 16% shooting. Rudy Gobert, 17 points, 11 boards. That was solid. I'll give him that. Royce O'Neal, 5 points. Bojan Bogdanovic, 2 points on 0 of 9 from the field, 0 of 5 from the 3. Once again, we need some scorers out here. We need some shooters. So far, it's only Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert. Mike Conley's not a scorer. Royce O'Neal's not a scorer. Bojan Bogdanovic is too inconsistent for us. Wasn't as consistent, as inconsistent last season, but this year, it's like, it's unbelievable. So put Jordan Clarkson in the starting lineup. Get out to a good start. Let the man work. Let the man cook. See what happens if you put Jordan Clarkson at the 2, Donovan Mitchell at the 1, have Mike Conley come off the bench. Jordan Clarkson's taking all the shots off the bench anyway. Spread the floor a little bit more off the bench so you don't just have to clamp up Jordan Clarkson, then you're good. You survive the bench rotation. It's just ridiculous, folks. I truly just don't understand what the Jazz think they're doing. Like, you think you're going to win games like this? Of course not. We've seen it. We've seen it, folks. It's absurd at this point. But Mavericks win 102-77. We've been known this, folks. Come on. Alrighty, that is all the NBA from last night. Now let's see what we have on tap tonight in the NBA. Once again, we've gotten a little humbled a little bit. We bet the Celtics a little bit too much, -6. We swallowed 8 with the 76ers. Stupid decision. So let's get back on track here, right? Let's get our finger right back on this playoff pulse, yes? And let's go 3 for 3 in tonight's games. And is today the last day of 3 for 3 playoff games on? Let me quickly check the schedule. What do we got tomorrow? 2 games tomorrow. 3 potentially, 4 potentially. 4 potentially on Thursday so we can wrap it up. So we can finally wrap up some of these series. So maybe 4 Thursday if things aren't wrapped up by now. But once again, folks, it's all going downhill. Really only going to have like 2 games on. One moment, folks. Hello? Okay, copy. Alrighty, so here we go. What do we have on tap tonight? Where is the value? Here we go. First game up here, we get Hawks at the Heat. Hawks at the Heat, game 5. Close out game for the Heat tonight. Hawks +6, Heat -6. Wow. Big spread here. This is the biggest spread so far this series. What did we only had to swallow, like 1.5 before? Is that right? When they were on the road? Damn, all right, I miss those days. But going to have to swallow 6.5 here at home, and I think I'm good with it. For the Hawks, we get Lou Williams out, Clint Capella's a game-time decision, and Bogdan Bogdanovic also a game-time decision. They'll most likely play, but once again, a little banged up. And then for the Heat, Kyle Lowry is still out, but they were able to overcome that in game number 4. So I'm not that concerned with Kyle Lowry being out still. Gabe Vincent, game time decision. PJ Tucker, game time decision. Caleb Martin, a game time decision. So I'm still taking the Heat -6 here, folks. Once again, the Heat defense, their dog mentality. The Hawks, they took the game. They didn't get swept. They have some self-respect, unlike those Nets. Yes, it's not the end of the show, folks. I'll still go in on the Nets, okay? Tomorrow is when we don't talk about the Nets anymore. So, Hawks, they have some self-respect, not like those Nets do. So, Heat -6, Eric Spoelstra at home, looking to close out the series. The Heat want some rest now. The Heat are looking for some rest because they're looking at the 76ers laughing, dying, Squidward laughing gif, y'all know. They're laughing. They're like, they beefed it. They beefed it. We thought we weren't going to get any rest, but now it's them not going to get any rest out here if they somehow survive this series at all. So the Heat looking to get it done. There's a video going around about, what's his name? From Training Day. King Kong ain't got nothing on me. Why am I blanking on the man's name? Hang on, it's there, folks. It's on the tip. It's one name, Denzel Washington. There's a clip going around about Denzel Washington meeting this Heat team at a hotel. It seemed like, he kind of gave a speech and then gave a pep talk, right before he left down the elevator, and it was pretty gosh dang good. It was a pretty good speech, folks. So Heat are about to be motivated. Only have to swallow 6.5. Trae Young has not been good or consistent in this playoff series, and neither has really anybody on this Hawks team overall. So Heat -6, easy peasy play of the day, folks. Love it. All right, next game up here, we got the Timberwolves at the Grizzlies. Tie series. Timberwolves digging in deep, getting it done, and we're still getting tons of points here, and I think I'm about to gobble up these points. Timberwolves +6, Grizzlies -6. Everybody's good to go for the Timberwolves. Karl Anthony Towns more aggressive, asserting his dominance more in Game 3, what everybody wanted. Y'all gave him the blueprint. He followed the blueprint. It resulted in a win. I think he'll repeat the blueprint blueprint tonight. Everybody good to go for the Timberwolves. And then for the Grizzlies, we still get Killian Tilly out, but he's been out, so who cares? But I'm going to go with the Timberwolves +6 here. This is a gritty series, folks. The Grizzlies just rely so much on that three-point shot. If that three-point shot is falling early, then they'll be able to ride that momentum maybe for the rest of the game. But if they get out to slower starts like we have seen them this series, that's the perfect opportunity for the Timberwolves. And once again, Karl-Anthony Towns just being dominant. Of course, we've got to bet that. I'm going to take the points here. Timberwolves +6. And then the last game of the night here, and I'm taking these points as well. This is a whole new series. We've seen the Suns team flounder without Devin Booker. That is their true identity. Pelicans at the Suns. Pelicans +6.5. Suns -6.5. I'm taking those points. Everybody's good to go for the Pelicans. And this is interesting to keep in the back of your minds, folks. If the Pelicans come out of the series, does Zion Williamson ever make a return? He's out there warming up. He's out there, before the games, warming up. Can we see him at some point this season? How crazy would that be? And that would truly flip the entire Western Conference playoffs on its head. If you have the big three of McCollum, Valanciunas, Ingram, and you get Zion back, maybe they're coming out of the West. So we'll keep an eye on that. So everybody's good to go for the Pelicans. And then for the Suns, Devin Booker still out. And that's the only thing we need to see. Pelicans +6.5 because no Devin Booker. Cameron Johnson has proven time and time again, going back to last season. This is not just like the last 2-game thing. We've seen him in the regular season. We've seen him last year. He cannot fill in that 2 role. No way. No way. Chris Paul, he's gotten figured out in the series. Good luck trying to go manic in the fourth quarter. DeAndre Ayton, he's going to need a 50-piece tonight if they want a chance to win. And if they want a chance to cover, DeAndre Ayton's going to have to probably set a franchise record for 70 points by a big man. So I'm taking the Pelicans +6.5. The big three, they're dogs, folks. The big three are dogs here in New Orleans. They've got the coach. They've got the players. It's a new series 2-2. No Devin Booker. Go and ride that momentum. I'm taking the Pelicans +6.5 tonight. Love it. Alrighty, that is all the NBA we had to go over for today, and we're about to run out of here, but I have to talk about this story. We have to talk about this story before we get out of here because it's so bizarre, folks. So here we go. We are not the biggest Trey Lance believers. We are not even a Trey Lance believer. We do not believe in this man at all. I'm calling him a bust. I don't understand why they still want to give this man the starting job. I've never been on Trey Lance. Y'all been on Trey Lance. I hear from y'all all the time. We all also said the Nets were scary. So once again, us versus y'all on this one here. But somebody's coming to his defense, folks. A tight end, and y'all know we respect the tight ends out here. Do you see whose flag is behind us? Yes. Only going to be out for a couple more months. We got a new flag for next season, but we will still always respect the tight ends. And I'm still trying to get some passes for Tight End University. I'm using my connections. But a tight end is coming to Trey Lance's defense. So should we change our mind? Should we change our thinking? George Kittle's seen Trey Lance a lot more than we have up close and personal. Are we wrong? I think I would need to see this one to believe it, but this is what this man's saying on Trey Lance. 49ers, George Kittle says Trey Lance has a, quote, insane ceiling, and get this, folks, reminds him of Bills quarterback Josh Allen? What the fuck did you just say? I don't even think they're even physically similar. I want to see now. Trey Lance, what is his, what do they call them? What do they call it when you get your measurements done? What are your measurements? I guess we could say that. It's a different word I'm looking for, folks. Trey Lance out here. He's 6'4". Is he really 6'4"? Damn, okay. He is kind of like Josh Allen then. I did not think Trey Lance was 6'4" like that. Josh Allen 6'5", 230, right? Josh Allen 6'5", 237, bingo. Trey Lance, 6'4", 224, so not as beefy, not as tall, but still, I thought Trey Lance was 6'2", 6'3", so all right. George Kittle, maybe winning us over a little bit. I like that height. 6'4" is great. Y'all know how we feel about short quarterbacks. We're done with them mostly. Still got to get into that, but 6'4", okay, so Trey Lance does pass the height test. I'll give him that. But let's see what else George Kittle's trying to sell here on Trey Lance. So here we go. Should we be changing our mind? Should we be warming up to the idea of Trey Lance being a good quarterback? Let's find out. Here we go. First lead up. George Kittle has been Jimmy Garoppolo's biggest supporter over the years, and we do know Jimmy Garoppolo's good, so George Kittle, he kind of knows what he's talking about. We go to bat for Jimmy Garoppolo, y'all go to bat for Trey Lance, and George Kittle speaks highly on both of them. So are we both right? Interesting. I think we have to respect what George Kittle says, folks. I will weigh this. Once again, we weigh all information given to us differently, but I will weigh this information. I am going to be open-minded like we always are, folks. We are at 0 believability in Trey Lance. At this moment, before we read this, we are at 0% viability. We do not think of this man at all as a quarterback. We all know that. So we're at 0 points for Trey Lance. Can't get any lower than 0. We can go the gimmick negative points. Yes, that's funny, but let's be serious here. We're at 0 points with Trey Lance. Yes, let's see what George Kittle says and see how many points we buy into him based on what George Kittle says. George Kittle's endorsements, who we do take pretty well. The man knows what he's talking about. So here we go. Lead up. George Kittle has been Jimmy Garoppolo's biggest supporter over the years, but that advocacy doesn't blind the all-pro tight end to the extreme upside of second-year quarterback Trey Lance, saying, quote, "I love all of my quarterbacks. Trey has an insane ceiling. Just needs some reps here and there. Just got to throw the ball a little bit more. You can't really get better without playing games. How much better were you your rookie season to your third year? Just going against competition, getting hit and getting back up. Dealing with adversity, how do you deal with it? Guys that come into the NFL and win their entire life and get hit in the face a couple of times, it's different. It's a learning process. Jimmy was a fantastic person for Trey Lance to learn under for sure. Hey, but Trey Lance is only good because he learned under Jimmy Garoppolo. Yes, y'all like to throw Jimmy Garoppolo in the trash, but hey, he's mentoring y'all's quarterback. So keep that in mind. He learned everything from Jimmy Garoppolo, and he's going to learn how to get to the Super Bowl from Jimmy Garoppolo because Jimmy Garoppolo's been to one, yes? So, all right, George Kittle, some slight slights here, saying Trey Lance has an insane ceiling. Okay, an insane ceiling. That means, hey, you have a lot of work to do. Your ceiling's insane. We think you can be good, but we just haven't seen it. He says this as well. Just needs some more reps here and there. Still needs some more getting involved in the game. Still have to see him get it done in the game. Even George Kittle says, hey, he still has to get it done in the game. I mean, you are going to get better the more experience you have, but you still have to get it in the game. So, all right, that was the big old clickbait headline, but looking into this, he's praising Trey Lance because of how good of a mentor Jimmy Garoppolo is. He's also saying he needs to improve. He's also saying he has a high ceiling, and he also has to see, hey, how do guys react when they get hit in the mouth? You know what I mean? How do they react when everything's not going good? Is Trey Lance going to be a leader like Jimmy Garoppolo is? Can Trey Lance overcome that Week 18 deficit against the Rams to secure a playoff spot? Jimmy Garoppolo did. Can Trey Lance do that? I don't know still, folks. All right, what else do we get here? Next one, and this is where he's going to compare him to Josh Allen. So let's see what more points. After that first quote, I guess I'll do 1 point. I'll buy 1 point into Trey Lance. If you're saying he has this high of a ceiling, okay, only 1 point. Nothing really moving the needle for us there. But here we go. Second to lead up. Kittle compared Lance to another former non-Power 5 quarterback, saying, quote, "He reminds me most of Josh Allen. And Josh Allen is an established quarterback." Absolutely. So throwing those words around, I mean, we have to kind of, once again, weigh this because because George Kittle is saying this. So, all right, maybe this is more than 1 point here. But he says, and Josh Allen is an established quarterback. Trey has to prove that and do it on the football field, but I think he can move the chains. Whether it's his feet, he's a big body, he can take hits, he wants to make plays. He's got a cannon of an arm. It's crazy. I mean, he can roll out to the right on the sideline and throw it diagonal like 50 yards on the line. You're like, okay, yeah. That's not a lot of people that can do that stuff. And so, like I said, he's got an insane ceiling. That's what I'm so excited about. So, the big old insane ceiling. Loving all of it. Able to kind of be that big body quarterback, take some hits. And, we've seen him run. We've seen him throw. It never really moves the needle for us. The ball seems very low. That's the one thing that just catches my eye. Even when he's throwing it long, like throwing it down the field, it still looks low still. So I don't know if it's just my optics are off or what, but, we all see things, right? It may be hard as times, put it into words. You just see, he's got that it factor. You see it. It jumps off the screen to you. Trey Lance, watching this man throw the football, it just seems low to the ground to me. It seems like it's going to get batted a lot. There's going to be a lot of picks and a lot of swat downs because the ball is so low to the ground on how he throws it. He doesn't have arc on the ball. It's all zip with Trey Lance, which I don't know if you can do all zip in the NFL. It's going to be interesting. So, all right, the big arm, the cannon arm. Everybody loves the cannon arm. I get it. I love me a good cannon arm as well. Give me a big beefy arm. I'll love it. But I don't know, man. I see what George Kittle's saying, but I guess I'll give him another point. We got to take something into consideration here. Yes, like this is George Kittle we're talking about. This man's not a scrub. Top 3 tight end in the league. Got to give him some credit, but let's end this final quote here to see where we are truly at with Trey Lance. Final lead up. With Garoppolo still on the roster, Kittle noted that he'd support whoever is under center. So a little bit of a yes man, okay. But spent extra time praising Lance's upsize, an indicator that he knows the younger will be the one tossing him the pigskin in 2022, saying, quote, I'm kind of 50-50 right in the middle, honestly. I think Jimmy is a fantastic leader. We almost won a Super Bowl, NFC champions twice in 3 seasons. Yes, you speak those accolades. Yes, sir, I love that. And then you look at Trey, who I think has one of the highest ceilings I've ever seen before. Wow, that's something, folks. That's a statement. Wow. Some of the things you see him do on the football field, and you're like, holy cow, I can't wait till he throws me passes. So, I want whoever's going to be the better quarterback this season, and it is a business at the end of the day. I do trust Kyle Shanahan to pick the best quarterback. I don't have a preference. I like them both. They're both good guys. They both bring different things to the table. So, Jimmy Garoppolo has the leadership. Maybe Trey Lance has the better arm. Which one wins the ring? Do they both not win the ring? Can one win the ring? We'll see, I guess. I mean, George Kittle is truly gushing over Trey Lance, saying, hey, it's the highest ceiling I've ever seen before. I guess we'll go into 5. I'll go up to 5 believability points into Trey Lance, folks, for this upcoming season. But still, until I see it, I can't go higher than 5 off of praise and over gush, okay? So we'll take what Jimmy Garoppolo, or what George Kittle just said. We'll believe in Trey Lance 5%. You got me, okay? George Kittle, you sold me 5%. Congratulations, okay? But it's going to be on you. You're going to bat for this kid. Do I have to have a Takes by Tight End University flag next year besides George Kittle? Everybody in Tight End University besides George Kittle? I don't want to do that. But if you're praising Trey Lance and then the man's dumpster, we're going to hold you to that, George. So put your name on it. You did. This is on you now. This is on you. I don't like Trey Lance, but you're around him a little bit more. A little bit. So I guess I'll take your gush a little into consideration. 5 believability points in Trey Lance. Alrighty, folks, that's going to do it for us today. We got to get out of here, unfortunately, but we are back live tomorrow, noon Eastern, to do it all again, and I will try my hardest to squeeze in Kenny Pickett, folks. We will try to at least have 2 quarterbacks that we could try to say, hey, this one's better than the other one, so whoever drafts who, we're holding them to that. So we will have at least one of those heading into this draft class, so I guess that's fine. Like we said, we did like 25 last year. That was good. But yeah, just so much going on this season, folks. So much going on this offseason. Just could not squeeze it in. Unfortunate. But once again, it's not a good draft class. Who cares about this draft class, right, folks? Honestly, do we care about this draft class? Psh, no great quarterbacks. Okay. No great wow talent. We'll catch you next year on it. Yes? Yes. All right, folks, we're going to get out of here for today. Have an absolute great one. Win a little bit of money in the NBA. I'm loving the value today, folks. These points tonight, folks. The points tonight. Yes. I'm loving the points tonight. All right, folks, have an absolutely great one. We'll see you back here tomorrow, noon Eastern, folks. Let's do it again, shall we? All right, folks, last day to talk about the Nets. Get it all out today. After midnight today, whatever time zone you're in, I'll give you to your own time zone. I won't do Eastern time, all right? I'll leave it to y'all's time zone. Final day to talk about the Nets. We are going silent. We are going mum on the Nets for at least the next 2 months. At least, at minimum, folks. No more Nets talk, and we are done with the Nets in 3, 2, 1. Final thought, Nets are trash. Kyrie Irving is not a leader, not a good personality type. Steve Nash is not a good head coach. Kevin Durant is not clutch this season. Patty Mills is one of the worst players I've ever seen. Seth Curry, thank you for your contribution. You deserve none of the blame. Andre Drummond, congratulations. Thank you for your contribution. You deserve none of the blame. Everybody else, you're trash. You're garbage. We'll see you next year. Done with the Nets. We'll see you tomorrow.